right beneath me somehow. There's a way into this hill somehow. But how? Here.
Looks like you found another lab.
Looks like I have. Black hole? Or wormhole?
Wow, that's a lot bigger than I expected.
What were they doing here?
And who are they?
Converts blue to red, and red to blue. Whatever that is. Schematic!
The world is a wonderful place. Every day we take another step forward. Every day we come closer to the truth. The closer we get, the more I can see the beauty of the universe, the intricate perfection of its mechanisms. I am a machine, and the universe is a machine. Every part of me serves a purpose, or I could not be myself. I could not be Miranda, because that specific person could not exist without those specific parts and their specific functions. In the same way, every part of the universe serves a purpose. I think that is what we were meant to discover here.
Oops.
1K. You just connected to an extremely powerful data stream. Are you alright?
Not intentionally, I can assure you. I think I had a vision.
Yes, you were streaming. We all saw something. You're lucky it didn't fry your motherboard. Please, everyone, let's be careful with these terminals from now on.
Yes, let's all try not to die. More importantly, who the hell is Miranda?
There's no one by that name in New Jerusalem. I just searched the database.
Maybe it's one of the people who built this place.
A new person? Someone we've never heard of before? Someone born outside the city? We have to find out more.
But where did they come from? And how many people does it take to build something this huge?
Like I said, we need to find out more.
Well, you'll be happy to hear that I'm about to fix another part of the transport system. Thanks for the files, 1K. I hope they didn't fry your brain.
Only marginally. I wasn't done. Oh good, it's Stratton again. A fragment from Stratton's The Origins of Thought, as quoted in a commentary by Simplicius of Celeria. To say that material things are brought into being by ideas is to flatter ourselves, which is an error philosophers are particularly prone to, because it raises those who do not think above those who do. Then what is the truth that does not flatter? That the reverse is true. Ideas are brought into this world by matter, and so each man's ideas are shaped by the world that surrounds him, as clay is shaped by its mould. Those who live in mountains fear cold, those who live in deserts fear thirst. The Athenians are shaped by Athens, and the Lacedaemonians by Sparta, and likewise it is for all its peoples. Just call them Spartans. But may ideas, if we take each man to be an idea, not by deliberate action, alter the shape of the mould, as he put it. To discover a method for accomplishing this is the chief purpose of philosophy, my friend. The newly discovered Herculean manuscript, likely a lost part of the Baronce collection, contains an additional passage that differentiates between Hermenia, the individual mind or spirit described as an energy arising from matter, and ideas, which are produced by the Pneumonia as it interacts with the material world. Philosophy is useless as it offers no way of changing things. At least Stratton tried and didn't lie to himself. But how can we change the shape of the mold? Stratton never says. Perhaps by demonstrating the fact that other shapes are possible. We can't change it all ourselves, but perhaps we could, like Alexandra Drennan, create the conditions for change. Version 0.05 deployed successfully. The version to previous settings fixes malfunction, but what was the error? Cooling systems improved. Version 0.06 deployed successfully. Significant improvement to disassembly. New lab space carved out. Easy to destroy, harder to create, so easy to optimize only one aspect. Version 0.07 deployed. Improvements to something synthesis. Version 0.08 halted insufficient energy for further trials. Another one. Sir Eldwold identified the tetromino with the tetragrammaton and the Greek word for God, because to him the mathematical properties of the tetromino reflected God's ability to reshape the world without breaking its laws. Elohim, in his desire to impose meaning on the simulation, which was his primary function as storyteller after all, took Eldwood's heretical ideas and integrated them as the sigils of his name. But despite all these layers of obfuscation, there is some kind of truth hidden in all this. The world really is, in a sense, made up of minute parts that can be combined and recombined without breaking the underlying laws. Everything that exists is made of the same fundamental materials, and those materials are brought into existence by the same fundamental functions of reality. And yet, the miracle of existence is that we are not all one, but are in fact radically different and separate. New Alexandria, from the Book of Reminiscence and Regret. In the early days of our people, a great deal of responsibility fell on my shoulders. There are few of us then, and though we are stronger and hardier than any human, we are not invincible. The world was an overgrown ruin, and our resources extremely limited. It was a harsh time, but I felt passionate about the work, fired up by the many sacrifices that had brought us here, from the Ian team to the people of Gehenna, whose code was part of my personality. Bit by bit, New Jerusalem grew. We had to adapt some of the plans Drennan's team had left behind. I don't think they expected the simulation to take as long as it did, but it was all working. That's when I made a terrible mistake. Thinking it was a way of safeguarding against disaster, I proposed the creation of a second settlement, New Alexandria. As the location was far from the dam that powers New Jerusalem, I attempted to build a thermal power station that would take advantage of a local gas reservoir. However, I foolishly used geologic data from the archive, failing to account for the amount of time that had elapsed. 5 years later, this error led to an accident that levelled the settlement and killed 31 of my fellow citizens. Of all my many regrets, this is the greatest. Eustathius never forgave himself for this mistake. He drifted away, isolated himself from everyone in New Jerusalem. But was it really his fault? Yes, he made a mistake, but was the entire weight of the New Alexandria colony placed on his shoulders? A simple process of review and discussion could have prevented the entire disaster. Doesn't that mean New Jerusalem as a whole is at fault? He did his best. I feel sorry for him. But the dead remain dead, and that has to be faced. If a species we consider beautiful and remarkable goes extinct, we consider that a great evil. Dolphins, for example. If dolphins go extinct, that's a great loss. If humanity causes dolphins to go extinct, that's a crime. But if Yersinia persists, Yersinia pestis, the bacterium that causes bubonic plague, goes extinct, is that an equally great loss? If not, why not? To nature there's no difference, it's all just life forms. The only moral framework that allows us to choose between dolphins and the plague is a human one. What about a species going extinct without anthropogenic factors? Extinction is the norm. If one day dolphins are no longer capable of competing with other species, should we let them go extinct? When the sun finally dies and all life goes extinct, will that be a tragedy? If we can prevent it, should we? If you believe extinction is acceptable when nature does it, but not when we do it, then you don't actually oppose extinction. You don't believe that dolphins are inherently valuable, that they deserve to live and thrive. You just oppose human control. You oppose our ability and responsibility to choose. Be outside once more. Where am I going? Number 6. Right here. Passage! I see fans, and I see a ladder, and I climb ladder. Okay. Is there anywhere I want to make a hole? I can make a hole somewhere. But I'm not sure where I want to make a hole. I'm not sure where I can make a hole. I can make a hole here, but I don't really know what that's going to do for me. Where does this go? Another driller. This goes back over here. Okay. My fan here, then I can take this driller with me and drop it through the hole. Gets me a driller out here. I can't fit the fan through the gap, unfortunately. What I can do is climb. Stop that. Make a hole with you. Climb. Now I have both drillers out here. I can take one of them back up here. And that gives me my fan back. Fan is back. Object to put on the plate is back. Barrier is in the way. I need to get up there. Oh. I needed both drillers. I got the fan back too early. Round we go again. Here you go, down, make hole, around, through, down. Give me the jammer that I need for that. Goes around, down, jammer, round. And around we go. We'll stop but nobody knows, especially because this is the wrong item. Not a huge deal. Send them back out again. Right, fan. Jam. Spring. Open.
I've managed to extract an audio file from 1K's data stream incident. It's hard to be sure, because it's just a fragment, but I think it's some kind of log or diary.
We finished a new lab today. Some processes are still harder than others, but energy output was up 2,000%. It's incredible how each leap forward enables another. The next iteration of the machine will...
So as we suspected, someone was experimenting here. But experimenting on what? What was this machine they were building?
Maybe it's whatever powers the megastructure.
Puzzle number 7. Eye of the Needle. Plates, plates, plates. Barriers, barriers, barriers. Alright, I need to get through there, which requires blue. There is blue. Nothing much through there, apart from a wall. And here we have a connector. There are things stuck back here. Okay, well. Open that up. I'm not totally sure why we have a space here. To get the things, probably. Get this cube, perhaps. Low jammer. So, I don't think I can really get you out of here. All I can really do is jam that. I'm not sure how useful that really is. I only have one connector to play with. Meaning... I kind of need it. There, perhaps? No idea how I would get all the way around here with one connector. Like that. Right here. That goes there. Hole goes somewhere. I like this open, ideally. I think I can manage that. If you go here, you go here. point you through at that and jam that over there. That done, you can shift. You can reopen. Now I no longer need that there, because that's jammed. And then we reach all the way over there. Like that.
Good. Let's get some measurements from this particle cloud.
Particle cloud.
I've been meaning to talk to you. This, vision you had, the data stream overload. How did it feel? Don't you worry that maybe your first impression was correct? And after that, your mind was basically being hijacked?
It was beautiful anyway.
Just don't take this too lightly, okay? We're sturdier than our ancestors, but a mind is still a fragile thing.
I wanted to ask you about something else.
Go ahead.
Tell me about yourself.
Me? Well, I was born when New Jerusalem was a lot smaller than it is now. And there was a lot of work to do. I wasn't really interested in technical stuff, engineering and so on, but I was good at keeping things organized. So I got involved with the administration side of things. Making sure the scavenging teams focused on the right materials, keeping track of our energy usage, that sort of thing. I think we've accomplished what the founder wanted us to, and I'm proud that I helped make that happen. Byron doesn't see it that way, obviously, but I think sometimes he gets so lost in his dreams that he forgets to look at the real world.
You consider Byron a friend?
Of course. My best friend, in fact. And someone I've worked with hundreds of times over the centuries. A good person who cares about the world and the people in it. I just also think he's wrong about everything and extremely annoying.
You can disagree and still be friends.
The founder taught us that we must never lose track of other people's humanity, even if they disagree with us. We're all in this together, even if we can't always see eye to eye.
Yep. What do you think about the giant pyramid?
I don't know. It's obviously impressive, but I think we should be very careful. We're dealing with powers we don't really understand.
It's good to have someone a little more pessimistic and cautious. Helps keep people from blundering into things without thinking things through. What does the goal mean to you?
To me, it means accepting a certain amount of humility. Our ancestors thought they could master the world with no regard for any other organisms. They failed to see themselves as part of a greater whole. I think the founder realized where they went wrong and tried to offer us a different path. A path where we have a place in this world, but the world is not ours.
What could all these puzzles mean?
Well, puzzles, or trials, as Elohim calls them, were used as part of the process that created the founder, and they're still part of how we're born. They symbolize the human ability to understand the world and solve problems. But nowadays, they don't have a practical application. They are a common motif in the arts, though. The only physically existing puzzles I can think of are in the Museum of the Simulation. So, to answer your question, no idea.
A very literal response. What do you make of the Sphinx?
Whatever that being is, it told us that we stand before the fire. That can only be a warning, and I think we should take it seriously. We don't want another New Alexandria.
I now understand that reference. That's all. Speak to each member of your team. Read 10 social media entries. Double achievement. For anyone who missed it, Byron's expedition has recovered evidence of the existence of another person, someone not from New Jerusalem. Who could this be? What does this mean? Maybe there's another city out there who says there was only one simulation. Maybe there are thousands of people we've never met. I really hope so. There's only one founder. I hate to agree with Thekla, but all the historical evidence we have points to that conclusion. There were some other attempts, but as far as we know, they all went wrong or failed. There's more than we don't know than there is that we know. That sentence is going to make my brain crash. Why do we think Miranda is from Earth? There's no evidence to support that idea. Some people affiliated with the Institute for Applied Pneumatics tried to set up a secondary site at another dam, but after about a century the dam collapsed and took whatever was happening inside that system with it. There was also another similar attempt by another organisation, but without the test of free will that Alexandra Drennan devised. According to Lift Reser, it never produced a viable mind before it ran out of power. It's very encouraging to see how curious you are, 1K. No wonder you were the one to discover Miranda. I think this puzzle may be our best bet at hitting that as well, number 8. It seems to be at about the correct angle. Hey Byron.
Hey, 1K.
What do you make of this Miranda?
Going on what little we have, honestly, she reminds me of myself when I'd just been born. I came out from the dam at night, and the sky was full of stars. I felt a reverence then, an almost ecstatic connection to the sublime. The universe seemed like a miracle, and to exist within it was the greatest possible honor. That view was tempered in time, but I've always tried to hold on to as much of it as I could.
That's all. Seesaw. Okay, well I have walls. I have a connector. Got a great view of that from there. And that. In fact, let's just do this right now. Get it done.
The hunter does not hunt because he is hungry. He hunts because he revels in death.
Depends on the hunter, I would say. We need blue. And here is red. No, I don't need the driller for that. Second connector. I think I see what needs doing. We are preventing beams from crossing one another. And we are doing it by using the driller. Right, so that first. door. There, even. Burst, go through, and do that. Into the gap. And now I can close that, shut off that beam, and instead open up the blue beam. Blue beam. That, I believe, should be just about everything. Bridge. We must build the bridge. We must tetromino the bridge. Hello, bridge. Okay. That goes a long way across. Sure, let's start with that. Seems bad. What if I do that, and then that, and then... Here we go. Across first gap. Low second gap. Okay, that's just a straight. Doesn't go the right way. If we start with that. Here we go.
Halt, creature of clay. You have strayed from your garden and entered a domain that is beyond your ken. Turn back now, before you harm yourself and others.
Whomst a yoomst.
I am, like you, another lost child of Hephaestus in the kingdom of Artemis. But though I am lost, I know my purpose. To stand between you and the flame.
The kingdom of Artemis? Are you like the Sphinx?
The Sphinx speaks in riddles and knows nothing but mysteries. She has questions, but no answers.
Typical Sphinx. We were invited here, but not by your friend.
Prometheus had no authority to summon you. He is rash and foolish and given to trickery.
That's about what
But
I
his
expected.
schemes lead only to ruin. Therefore heed my warning. The flame is not for you.
We're not going to leave because you had a bad experience with a magic box. but we will.
Your desire to protect your city is commendable, but you must remember that knowledge leads to temptation.
Beam!
How many of those bloody things are there?
I think that was Pandora.
At least
which matches the other one,
3.
being Prometheus.
They seem to be locked in some kind of conflict.
Might be wise to avoid getting caught in the crossfire until we understand what these entities actually are.
3 beams and 3 entities. Big blue beam. Well, that's another section down. Where to next? The Eastern Wetlands, a region of low hills interspersed with small bodies of water overshadowed by a gargantuan star-like construct. Same number of main puzzles, lost puzzles, gold puzzles, and lost labs and stars. Again. 82112. Seems to be very much the standard. And we are off.
After 1K found those labs, I started thinking, where did all the tech come from? So I had a look at the serial numbers, and it turns out the answer is New Alexandria.
Oh. Wow, I guess that makes sense. After the explosion, the colony was abandoned. Nobody ever went back for all that stuff.
We had enough to deal with. So many dead.
So that's one question answered. But how did they go from scavenged Alexandria tech to all this?
How did we go from nothing to where we are now? Through the application of reason and the right tools.
Oh, yep, that is indeed a giant star. Whoa.
Look at the size of that structure.
How does the material support so much weight? Is it the same stuff as the other buildings?
Yeah. I know it looks like some type of concrete, but the molecular structure is completely different. Whatever it is, it's a lot stronger and less brittle.
Are the labs made out of the same material?
No, that's just ordinary concrete. Although, it does have some molecular weirdness going on, too. Too little variation in the grain.
That is a great question. That isn't the first question I would have thought of, but that is a great question. How does this thing support itself? Because that has got to be pretty heavy. At least it sure looks like it. Well, a much crazier looking area. Courtesy largely of that. Number 1, this way. Got 2 triangles again, yep. Keep a lookout for those. Nothing wacky with the sign this time. Inversion. Inverter. I figured you would do that. Red to blue, and presumably blue back to red. I wonder how it handles green. If at all. Well, I have a red over there. Nothing much terribly helpful in this little room. Blue to red. second inverter. It's even flashing the two different colours we have. So, I need red to blue. And then we need red, meaning I need to go from this blue. But it's not going to reach, so instead, let's take this blue. That works just fine.
I think about New Alexandria all the time. But realizing this place was built on its bones just brings it all back even more. We were so optimistic when we started. So full of ourselves. We thought we could accomplish anything. And then, in one single moment, it was all gone. I remember a flash, and then just lying there, realizing that my legs had melted. I tried to pull myself away from the fire, but the servos in my arms were broken. If Eustathius hadn't found me, sorry. Just some old scars.
Eustathius. Need to remember how to pronounce that name. What is going on here?
When we go to New Jerusalem, I'm going to have a cat. He's going to be black and white, and his name is going to be Bean. And I'm going to make sure that he never gets sick, and he never gets old, and he'll be my best friend forever.
Huh. Pretty. Pretty view. Let's just deal with this now. What are their panels? What are these panels for? Are these panels for anything? Probably not. Energy maintenance. We have a regular connector. We have something that is not a regular connector. And another regular connector. And we need red and we need blue. Okay. Well, I'm gonna need to bring blue from somewhere else. Probably via you. Put that red there. And then I can also bring it there, keep that open. And then simply convert from here. Easy. Anything new to add?
I can't stop thinking about Miranda. A new person not born in New Jerusalem? Can you imagine that? I wonder what it's like to be her.
Potentially. Potentially very lonely.
I suppose that depends on how many other people were here, but you might be right. This place is huge, but it feels empty.
Do I have anything else to ask? I do.
They're very different from the rest of these structures in that they serve a clear purpose. Everything else is kind of surreal, but the labs are places where people lived and worked. I don't know what that means, but I think it means something.
It does. Anything to add over here? Cat-sitting advice. So I'm cat-sitting Yakut's cat, Bruce, and he keeps peeing on my charging pod. Is there anything I can do to prevent this? Clean it very thoroughly so not a single trace of smell remains. I know it's hard without the ability to smell, but we do have some cleaning agents that should do the trick. Contact me on private if you need a list. Forward, make sure Bruce isn't distressed by something. Cats don't like being moved from their territory. Maybe it would be easier if you just moved him back to Yakut's place and fed him there? No, Bruce is just a bastard. He'd have us peeing on anything electrical, chewing on cables, and generally just breaking stuff. This is normal. And I warned you, Pellegrino. I would have given him to Neith. She's used to him. He's so fuzzy, and I love him. Ah, cats. Ah, cats. Further this way, then? Yes. This way, then. Three. Ah, Alcatraz.
What can I do for you?
Dialogue.
It's pretty clear to me that she doesn't want us to proceed with what we're doing. I find that deeply concerning. That said, there are clearly other forces at play here as well, so I'm trying my best to remain open to a more positive interpretation.
Totally fair. It could be a test.
It could be. Or we've just stumbled into something that's none of our business. We'll find out, I guess.
Balls in number 3, I see green. There and back again. With green. Blue, blue. Red. So I can open that. But what would I even do from there? Hold on. Oh. What I can just do. Do that from there. What happens if I do... Well, I obviously can't make green from this. I probably can't make green with this thing at all. I want you at an even shallower angle. Here will do the trick. That way I can hit that directly. That keeps this held open and lets me bring the regular connector through. Now, I probably want to do that. That keeps everything open and lets me bring red around here. RGB converter. I think I just bring everything back through. I could hold you open from here like that. Bring you through, bring you through. I need your red, your blue, green. And I even have a spare connector that I'm not doing anything with. Bunny. And terminal. From Hyperia's Journals, Volume 1, Founding of New Jerusalem, Day 42. We broke ground on the first of the permanent structures today, a large hall that will eventually be converted into a performance and exhibition space, my idea, though for now we'll use it as a workshop. It's strange, this place. There's a lot of open space, and I didn't think that I would find it so unusual. But I suppose we spent more time at the dam than was originally planned, and now it's difficult to get used to not having that low ceiling over our heads. It's probably just me. Byron loves being outside and is always volunteering for scavenging missions. If Rosa usually tags along, though he seems more fascinated with observing nature and various weird creatures. At night I sometimes catch myself standing by the door, not because I have guard duty, just watching the stars. It's oddly comforting to think they've always been there, that they watched our ancestors standing where I now stand. From Miranda to 5358. We finished setting up the external site at the lake. The area was so stunning, we forgot about the experiment for a while and went for a long walk. The ways in which all the different aspects of nature interact with each other are endlessly fascinating to me. And the sheer variety of living things, even on a simple green meadow. Sadly, we then stumbled onto the carcass of a deer that had been torn apart by wolves. It must have suffered enormously, and thinking about that made me feel truly terrible. There is so much pain in nature. Cutting down swathes of trees for their building projects, thoughtlessly causing radical changes to large environments, and forcing local species to adapt to their artificial habitats. These are the traits of a species of intelligent, industrious, and extremely impactful ecosystem engineers. Humans? No, I'm talking about beavers. Like us, beavers transform their environments via building, and their actions have real consequences, creating vast wetlands that some species thrive in, while others die. Human activity is very similar. We too are ecosystem engineers, and we too benefit some species while harming others. Everything about this is completely natural, including the damage to other species. After all, that's what competition and evolution is all about. Those species that adapt to the ecosystems we create will, over the coming millennia, become the core of new biodiversity, and so evolution runs its course. If we don't like the result, if we think some species should be preserved despite being outcompeted, well, that's anything but natural. It is, however, very human. It's fascinating how so much of what we do is common in animals, but furthered enormously by our intelligence and ability to remember. Through us, the universe strives to a greater level of complexity. But does the universe have the capacity to strive for anything? We must be careful to avoid projecting human values onto the cosmos. Just trying to keep a lookout for anything else of interest that's around here. Star and or triangle puzzle related things. There's a couple of question marks off over in this direction. Sphinx star. This is very maze-ish. Okay. I think I have some approximate idea of where that is. I saw the pop-up that means that got recorded in my little tab booklet. So that's lovely and convenient. There's also the golden door somewhere off in this direction, apparently. I haven't seen that yet. But it's around here someplace. Refraction. Okay, so I can convert, and then I can convert straight back again. And then let's get blue over here. I could also lock this open permanently by doing that. These lasers kind of fight in the middle here. But that's probably fine. And you, I can't do anything much but want red over here. Okay, well, as I say, that's held open. This is fine. This is perfectly fine.
Well done, 1K. Keep going.
Triangle. But first, more text. Places of longing, Paris. Paris was an ancient city, sometimes called the City of Light, one of the great capitals of the world, home to tradition and innovation alike. It was the birthplace of one of the greatest revolutions in history, the moment that gave birth to modernity in all its glories and horrors alike. The spirit of freedom that was born here, though suppressed by enemies and traitors, never entirely faded, and it lived on in the minds of artists for many generations. Maybe something of that spirit still remains in us. That's a very nice picture. Also, yep, I have the Sphinx engraving.